Hello, I'm live. Happy Thursday. Hey,
Hey, all right.
how are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm good.
There we go.
Yeah. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah.
Get this show on the road here.
Right. I was driving today and the radio said Thursday's the new Friday.
Thursday,
Woohoo.
Friday.
I
Hello.
guess that's what they hello,
What's
hello.
happening? Welcome. Welcome to Sam's Talk, folks.
Yes.
What's happening?
I'm Sam
Oh, and I'm Sam.
and we're the Sams.
We are the Sam's.
Yeah.
So we're just going
It's been
to groove into things here a little bit. So we kind of like start off with a little kind of
getting everybody in the groove, trying to chill out on
right.
a long Thursday.
And to those who partake, cheers.
Here. Got my big mug out today.
You got the big bug, huh?
Yeah. It's been a couple weeks since we've been on.
I know. Just thinking about that. And maybe we can talk a little bit about why tonight's called popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, officially welcome to Sam's Talk. And
Yes.
it's popcorn. Sam's Talk.
Pop, 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 popcorn.
So the idea behind popcorn is essentially multiple topics. You know, we're not really landing on one space tonight. And we hope to sort of have just an open communication conversation and kind of see where the night goes, see where the hour goes. We're also trying to
Right.
figure out this whole Instagram thing to see if it really is just 1 hour or not. But popcorn tonight, folks.
Yes. So we have some topics, and if y'all want to throw some in the chat or even want to join us, we're here for it. So it's just a free reign night.
Yes, we welcome participation.
Hi,
There we
Becky.
go. Now,
I'm so glad you could come in.
yeah. And so I'm sorry I missed you guys the other day, but next time. I know you know how it is.
Right. Yes. But yes, I'm glad she can join us. And I'm glad, we have 2 viewers right now. So let's get it
Let's
started.
do it.
So then
Let's do
that
it.
way
All right.
they get intrigued to tell their friends to join.
All right. So here's the first topic. Now, this is coming from, Sam and I, who are together. We're a married couple for those who don't know, but more than likely you do. But friends of the opposite sex. Friends
Okay.
of the opposite sex. So it's like, I guess the question is, maybe how's it for us? What were your thoughts about it? Did you and I change that? I don't know. Wherever you want to take it. Friends of the opposite sex.
Okay. Now, to relationship, together, commitment, or marriage only?
All of it. All the above. It's open.
Okay. Do you want me to start?
You've worn every hat.
Yes, I have. I have worn every single hat. That's how I know when the skis is come around. Anyway, okay. So, friends of the opposite sex in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because it's like Samantha 20 years ago would have been like, it depends. Like, y'all had to have been friends, like, way back. No, like, oh, And sometimes, like, I feel like it's also on who you date and who you're around. Because I was around a lot of people where it was like, that's not acceptable. Like, you know, there always has to be something below the surface.
Mm.
You know, hey Kirby,
Kirby,
thank you for joining.
welcome.
You missed a couple jokes, but we're just getting into the first question.
And the
Um,
question is friends of the opposite sex.
right. I got a question. If you put that in the comments, can they see that? The question? All right. Anyway, I'll finish answering. So, yeah. So, I feel like if you're around people that feel that really should not be allowed, you kind of go with it. But then I met Sam Granum, and you have friends from the opposite sex that you've known like since elementary, which boggles my mind that you still talk to people for 40 years. Okay. 35 years. So I feel like it wasn't hard for me to get used, like acclimated and used to you having that. I know that at first it was just like, okay, well, who is she? How is she your friend? I also, you kind of make sure your antennas are working to see if everything is above board, like, when y'all hang out. But being with you and around you and your friends for so many years, like, they are truly your friends. Now, there has been some that ain't really a friend, but that, is another talk. But so I honestly feel like you can have friends of the opposite sex. Because I remember when I was single, I had guy friends, and I remember when they got in serious relationships, it was like, oh, we really can't be friends. And I'm just like, but that don't make no sense. Like, I've been your friend for umpteen years, but you respect other people's wishes because you're not living their life. And it's unfortunate because people truly, like, if I'm your friend, I'm your friend. Like, if I wanted more than that, I would, but that's my take on it. What you got, Sam?
No, I think it's interesting. So for me, I feel like I have always been open to friends of the opposite sex because I know I have friends of the opposite sex. But I felt that there have been relationships maybe where sort of where is this friend coming up? You know what I'm saying? So it's like establish who your friends are then of the opposite sex. So it's like I kind of know that going in. But then I feel if it was, a friends of the opposite sex, but it's like, however, if maybe like describing the nature of the friendship didn't seem to have like a whole lot of filler in there. You know what I mean? Like friends of
Right. So you're saying like a friend, like, oh, this is my friend, but oh, how long y'all been friends? Oh, I met him last week in the supermarket. That you not having.
Gotcha. Or if it's like someone you became cool with that you did meet out like dating initially, but like and even as you guys have had relationships in terms of just a friendship that has been developed over time, maybe part of the dynamic, like, to me, friends, we should all be able to be comfortable around friends, right?
Right.
So if there's a friend that I always felt, or if the feeling, put it this way, if there's a friend where the feeling is, hey, this name doesn't come up when I'm present,
right.
Maybe that's something where I might have a consciousness of just thinking about myself. Now, I think also what feeds that feeling possibly, or I think greatly, is the person you're in a relationship with. You know what I'm saying? So I think similar to you saying until I met Sam Grantham, and I think same way until I met Samantha Jacobs, like, like I feel like whoever I would run into who was your friend, you would offer the explanation. I would never be like, you know?
Right. But to be fair, I mean, like, friend, you have like a tribe. You have like pockets of friends, like from I don't got that. Like
Right.
I can count my hand. So me being like stepping into your world was completely different than you popping into mine.
That's
Um,
that's very fair.
right. Cause like I feel like if I if I feel like if there were certain parts of myself that I wasn't confident in, like it would be, and you see that in relationships where
Yeah.
it doesn't work out. You're like, why? Because either the other person can't handle all these friends, like, or it's just like the constant because our mind goes like our mind, like it's like brings up these scenarios, and I know I'm not the only crazy one out there. Brings up these scenarios or things that can happen or blah blah blah, and some people just can't get out of the weeds.
Yeah. With that, I also think maturity level has a lot to play with that, because I know that I don't think the way I thought 20 years ago or 15 years ago. Certain things would heighten me in a way that now, because of just experiences and looking at people and life differently, like those same things wouldn't rub me, or I wouldn't think I need to look into or respond to something.
Right, but you say experiences, and then you have people also who have experienced, being lied to, cheating on, things like that, and that's a part like makes you a little jaded.
Yeah.
Curtis said insecurities are real. They can sow seeds of down and ruin the connections. That's true.
Yeah. They
Seeds of doubt.
they generally do,
Right.
and and it's cool because I just feel like sometimes with you and I, like we truly walked in a clean slate kind of scenario. It was just like in terms of our initial meeting.
So okay, clean slate, but I also think like it was so much trust,
That's my point.
and I guess maybe that's clean slate too.
Yeah.
But it's just like the trust of because I feel like you were honest. Like it wasn't a thing of like you sometimes find where somebody genuinely can have a friend of the opposite sex, but you don't find that they're your friend, their friend until like months of dating, and then it's like, well, why was this person hidden?
Right.
And then they're like, oh, it was nothing. I just feel like a lot of times people get so weirded out about the opposite sex because there are so many stories where people end up.
Yeah. No, right. But I feel it's funny because this is a classic example of Sam and I that we are thinking the same thing, but it's just through it's a different lens. So for her, she was saying trust. And me, it's clean slate. It's like, it's the same concept of I'm taking your word. I'm not, assuming anything from the past to influence how I am interpreting or experiencing you in this moment. You know what I'm saying? Like what you are saying, I am receiving and I'm going to go with. Like it's not tainted from something. And similarly, you're saying, I trust your words. Like your words are, aligned. So I will trust your words as opposed to be guarded because of previous, scenarios.
Right. But I also, it is different though, because like your clean slate, I feel like that you're mentioning, especially with me, is because you didn't know me. You knew nothing of me. I wasn't an uptown girl. Like, you didn't have like back history or story.
I hear you. So it's not that it's see, clean slate doesn't necessarily mean I've known of you or I can research you. I know you are a person, you've existed. So, you're gonna have things about everyone to survive on this earth over time. Things happen to all of us. But it was more just about like just I think similarly like the genuine nature of our conversations right off the bat, that it's like I'm getting this person as she is. You know what I mean? Like I never felt like it's going to take me time to get to know her.
Got you.
You know?
I'm gonna tell you a secret.
Oh.
So when I first met you, well, when I first started dating you, I guess like we were dating, talking, or whatever, I Googled you. 'Cause you
At least I can age myself. Google was still,
yeah, a lot came up.
a lot came up. There we go.
Right.
Um,
But it was good. Yeah. I wanted to make sure, you weren't on the most wanted list or nothing like that. But
even that, like the idea of Googling someone before you date, like, I feel like that's something that's very, very common now. I think now it's more like, social media profile exploration. What stood out?
back in the day, you had it.
Okay, Jackie asked what stood out when you Google me. I'm assuming.
Oh, okay. So, what stood out? I would say when I Googled him, all this, like sports stuff, like 76ers, and pictures from, I can't remember. So like the Walnut Room, y'all remember when you used to take pictures, there was that orange and blue circle at the bottom? A lot of those photos. And then this clip of him, I guess, doing like a 76ers or some kind of like sports recording. But yeah, and then like the church that came up.
Right. The church, see?
But yeah.
There we go.
But yeah, so.
Good wholesome. Yeah, I did my internship with the Sixers, man.
Yeah, so that's what stood out. No, like, awardings like, or, you know. So so he paid Google the appropriate amount. So Kirby says, I've been Googled and I was confronted on what they learned. I was offended and taken aback.
Confronted,
like.
Explain yourself, ma'am.
Right. Because it's like, okay, if they saw, just like Sam, if I saw something on Google.
I'm about to Google you. Say, no, I'm kidding.
About you. And it was like a little questionable, but it's like, I'm just dating you. I'm getting to know you. You know, they say the stuff on the internet, it stays forever. So it's just like, it could have been
we've been married for 6 years. What if you saw something today that came up that I've never shared? It would, you'd be like what would,
from way back, like it was before me.
Oh, okay. So I mean, you're offering distinction.
No, I'm asking, was it before me?
Before it occurred before us.
So what I found today occurred before us, and I had a problem with it.
Right.
Well, I would add, like, it depends. For me to have a problem with it, I feel like you're like, what do they call that? Windmilling, the sand. What do they call, like when you're in somebody's chest? What do they call that?
I don't know, but they got some comments here.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, there was a news article about something that happened. Okay, got it. Nothing crazy.
Oh.
So, and it's interesting. Yeah. It's fascinating. I feel like we just got together and like the dating environment is so different. Like even Google as a way to explore, I feel like I remember MySpace, kind of going at times trying to find somebody on MySpace. But outside of that,
I'm sorry, sidebar, but MySpace was the bomb.com because I had to where the hearts were falling down with the music. Okay. I'm like, I could get on there and get some of those photos back.
Right. MySpace was the music, right?
No, you could add music,
You could
and
have
then you
music
have
on your
back.
homepage. You could have
Huh?
if you can have graphics and music on your homepage.
Right, right, yes. Oh, motorboating. Thank you, Jackie. Okay.
Oh, motorboat.
So yes, I mean, if I saw it and you were motorboating somebody, or like I'm just be like, well, what is this? And then you explain. I mean, if it was before me, I can't say too much. Now, you did have pictures on Google that was before me, and I asked you to find how to take them down.
That is
So that did happen.
facts. I had to submit
As the kids would say.
an inquiry.
Right. Right. And it was only because not that, oh, it hurt me or blah, blah, blah. I just didn't like the fact that I'm Googling you. And like, if anybody Googled you, this would come up. And that's history. So they had to go.
Listen, I plead the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. I'll need more details. I think there's like a pending gag order on that one right there. All right. So actually,
Okay.
that's funny. That's funny because that's a perfect segue, Kirby. A very perfect segue. Because I'm looking at the 20-minute mark. Transparent
Yeah.
about your past exes, friends with benefits, or encounters. So there's the new topic. I think you can type the topics in, but it's transparency about your spouse's or significant others, exes, friends with benefits, or encounters.
Okay. So if anybody in the audience want to add in, you could do this.
Right.
Why don't you go first? Or do you want me to go first again?
I'll start. So it wasn't until dating Samantha that it would ever dawn upon me to just be transparent. And when we say transparent, we mean like history related to exes, friends with benefits, and or encounters, right? I just never thought it was something that I felt like was necessary for a relationship. It wasn't something that I felt, in my own dating history that like was a hurdle that, like we never got through or something like that. Like, so it was a very surprising request when she inquired in terms of like, hey, I just need to know who. But I had to understand why it made sense for her to ask me specifically. And I think she mentioned it at the onset in terms of this tribe that I come from, and like a lot of different people and relationships that I have with people that are really, really close to me, and so it's like sometimes from the outside looking in, it's like, how did they develop that kind of closeness? And I think for Samantha, it was just like, hey, and she explained it and it made such perfect sense. It's like, look, if you are who to me, who I think I am to you, and vice versa, then I don't want to be the last one to know something in the room.
How are you explaining when I'm sitting right here? And that is true. You
You're
are
asking
saying
me
correct.
about it, and I'm telling you, this is how it was presented to me. Like,
Okay, so Jackie says makes sense on Samantha's part.
yeah,
So Jackie, do you
like that's what I'm saying. Like, I've never dated someone where like that was a requirement, but it being with you and like understanding why it was important for you to know it, it made sense. It's just like, yeah, it is me and you. So it's like, I don't want you to be the last. It's like, I don't want someone to be one up on you. Like,
correct?
I don't want to
Right.
participate in that where someone knows something that you don't know because it's me and you, So
Right.
even if I have to have egg on my face, I'll just have to have egg on my face. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like, and I had to accept it, one, because of what I wanted to pursue with you, but at least like I actually understood it. And I feel like it's been helpful. And like, it's funny, I will say openly and admittedly that, there was, well, I'll just say that like, it's interesting. Here's how I knew she was right. I'll put it that way. Here's how I knew Samantha was right.
Look, we were being recorded.
Here's how I knew
Go
it was right. Because there was a circumstance where I informed someone who, again, at this point, I feel like we were together, I feel like married at this point. And so it was just more of just like a historical context. And I just sort of communicated, hey, yeah, there's awareness of the history here, you know? And the response that I got surprised me, you know? And I felt like, well, wait a minute. And it was like, that's what I realized, like, wow, the expectation is that you and I would hold on to something that I wouldn't share here, you know, like, and it was like, to me, that's like, well, wait a minute, like, it's because I'm thinking to myself, it's all good, you know, like that was my rationale, like, hey, no, all like there's awareness, there's nothing, so everything is all good. But when I felt that reaction in that moment, I was like, wow, Sam
right.
should have known because there's a reason, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's also part of the naivete of me. Right? That's
Right.
part
So,
of the naivete
yes,
of me when it comes to certain relationships where it's like I see things one way and you're like, no, that's not what that is.
correct. And I just feel like a lot of times you got to see it for yourself. But for me, no, like a reason why I feel like that was like a stipulation or rule or something I brought up is because it's like I'm a person, I know me. I'm a need to know person. I'm the person, if it's horrible news, whatever, just tell me. Tell me so I can just figure out how to deal with it, internalize it, whatever. But I don't want to later down the line. And like for this instance, it's like, again, be in a room with other people and not saying, one, I'm not bringing it up,
Right.
but I just know how sometimes
So
women can be catty. Women can be catty. And you're not going to come or think you are going to come at me at any point because of something that happened way back when, and you think I don't know about it.
no,
So that was my take on it, and why like I feel like I asked for that information, because again, you have this tribe where you're like, okay, all these friends, and it's just like, okay, well, what's the relationship? And again, you can have platonic friends, but I had a point or something I wanted to mention. I lost it. It'll come back to me.
It'll come back to you. So you mentioned something that I think is also important for me to share about me transitioning into this space of just like full transparency. Again, so for those who have joined us, tonight's popcorn night. Popcorn just means we're going to be jumping around a little bit. Popcorn kind of session. We don't have sort of like a main landing spot. Right now, the second question topic is transparency about your past exes, friends with benefits, and/or encounters with the person that you're in relationship with. And Samantha and I were sharing how, we are open and very transparent about anyone we have history with. And, for me,
Well, you don't have to
it was
go.
a new request for me, but what Sam just said in her response, that I also wanted to like highlight, because it really helped me to really kind of just truly be open to this, is when I did share the information, like you said, like you didn't while out over it. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't
Right.
a response ever that felt like, wow, now you're asking me to tell you, but now you about to tell them what time it is. You know what I'm saying? And
Right now,
but those scenarios
just
were,
filing it in the cabinet,
right.
just filing it away, filing it away.
Yeah. So it's like,
Because then you're like, oh, we're going to this retreat, this friend retreat. Yeah. Wait, 1989. That was.
so the question was, why wasn't I open to sharing before? It's not that I wasn't open; it was never requested. Like it wasn't something that a requirement. And maybe honestly, part of it is because maybe when I think about like my past history in terms of relationship history, I was at very different phases of my life, And I think with Samantha, um, it was, I don't know, like, I feel like I can really only compare her to maybe, I only had like a couple or a few um, adult relationships. Like in my early 20s, I kind of feel like I was very, you know what I'm saying, learning things a little bit. But, after that, okay, right. Yeah, so it never came up as like, here's some things I need to know about you. But for Samantha, it did. It was absolutely unequivocally, hey, I need to know every time that I meet somebody and you guys have history. I just need to know. And again, I think for me, when I shared and she didn't have a response that was like unmeasured, I was like, all right, done. I'm like,
Right.
I get
Because so to tell the audience here, okay, I'm also the wife, the friend, the girlfriend, all right, and the mama now, to where like, okay, and let me just say this as the wife. I am the wife that I in no way condone adultery, right? People, but people slip up, right? Then you find sometimes they may slip up and then the person wants to like blackmail them, extort them, and then the guy is like, again, come to me. I will be angry later, but we're going to figure this out because we're not going to have this other person trying to have one up on you because it's like, oh, I'm going to tell your wife, oh, so you got to give me all these jewels and blah, blah, blah. I'm more mad that you're giving the money. But again, you come, you talk to me, you tell me the honest truth. We will figure this out. And we'll figure that out later, but we're going to handle this situation. Because there are people out there like just, yeah.
funny. As you were talking, I wanted to say like the same thing, but even in wanting to say that, it's like I didn't want to say it because it's like I don't even want to like offer in either scenario, like even offer the consciousness of like that's something that I'll have to manage through with you because of something you would do. Like I don't want to cast any aspersions into who Samantha. But just understand we will stay down for each other, man. Like this is the life we chose.
Now, question. So now reverse it, okay? Because it's like that was something that I asked for you to share with me.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't ask about for me, but do you feel like?
Well, no, I did ask you to reciprocate it.
Right, but if I didn't ask you, would you have asked me, or have you?
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't think.
Gotcha.
Like I don't think so. Because I would just operate it the way I'm like, was used to operating. It's like unless there's some, if I have to act, like if I'm asking, I'm asking.
Right.
Okay. But if I'm not asking, then I don't care, kind of thing. But I like what you do because it's like, hey, even if I don't care, FYI. You know what I mean? So, right. All right,
Yeah. I need like I guess that's like a little bit of a sponge. Like I need the information. I need to know. I need to know it. Even if I don't use it, I just gotta have it.
Listen, and
so anybody out there, have you had something similar?
Is this like a standing Ash? What's going on, good brother? I see Ashley often on the road, man. It's like and you haven't seen me recently because I'm not like in our old neighborhood the same way. We're a little bit further down the street now, so I don't see you in passing as often as I used to, man. But that's my guy Ashley. How you doing? Welcome.
Hi, Ashley. Welcome.
Talk.
You missed a couple good jokes,
yeah.
but no. So I just want to ask the audience out.
Hello, Esther. How are you?
Hi. I also wanted to ask the audience, like, have y'all ever, like, do y'all expect the same in your relationship? Like, your spouse, partner, significant other, to divulge, like, who their past
or not, like
or not.
even
Hi.
even like something that's even because again, I thought it was unique. It was a unique ask for me. I was like, sure. But I think what's funny though, Samantha? Here's
Yeah.
why I understood a little bit more for you specifically and why it made sense because you mentioned about being the friend, and I feel like our relationship and friendship is so unique. The friendship part is why it just made so much more sense in terms of why you would need, like, you should know this information because of our friendship and how we are friends together. Like I've had girlfriends in the past where it's like that is my girlfriend, and it was more of
Right.
like a role of a girlfriend at times, and I thought that that's like all that's what it was, and it's like I don't.
Right. They're in this little box. They're
Well,
in
I won't
this
say little
little.
box. I'm not saying little box. That was the
Okay. Right. They're in a box. They're
yeah,
in a box.
like right, but it's like for
And
you, like our dynamic. But I mean, I guess we could talk about this on another pod when people really care. But like how we met and like what happened immediately, it was just different.
right. But like you mentioned earlier, how it was a joke, but it's true how I've been every position.
Right.
That
Oh,
like
you met with me.
huh?
You met with me.
Right, with you. Like
I was thinking
every,
life. I wasn't even thinking about the fact that you have actually been in every role
right.
and you've been
So
with me as a
so explaining every role, y'all. So I was a girlfriend. I was a buddy. I was
an ex, right? Because you're an ex
right.
buddy.
I was an ex. I was a friend with
Oh,
benefits.
right. Oh, those scenarios. Yes, correct.
I was a best friend. What out and then I and then I was a girlfriend again, and then a fiance, and now a wife. So I've been every title. So that's how I can.
Here's a question. Do you remember when the conversation came up? Was it like fiance or girlfriend?
I feel like it was girlfriend,
Okay.
or maybe no. So not first girlfriend.
No, I know it wasn't first girl. Oh, no. Was it?
It wasn't first girlfriend. I feel like it. I feel like it was like. Um, I feel like it kind of blurs. So I think it was like in the best friend phase and going into girlfriend because it was just like I feel like you were sharing more when we were friends. So he was very honest and sharing when we were just friends.
Right. So read it?
Yeah. Kirby says, I do. I require that now. My guy is very social and sorry, it's disappearing. And there is always some swirling around him. I don't want anyone thinking they have something on me, saying sly comments or throwing jabs. Yes, because Kirby, as you know, there are women and I'm sure men, because y'all doing it in a different way kind of thing.
Right.
If like you had a bro that y'all had to say girl, whatever. But there are people out there, male, female, non, whatever, that are patties, okay, or whatever, and you're not going to be like, I ain't no.
Yeah.
I ain't happening. It's not happening over here.
No, I think you're absolutely right, and I appreciate that, and I even appreciate the perspective. And again, it's funny because it wasn't one that I had before. It just wasn't. I never. I never thought about it. Didn't understand the value in it. And
good night, Jackie. I'm so glad you could join.
Good night, Jackie. Can't wait to see you. I know I missed you last time, but next time.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, and so it's like for what we're building together, it's like no one's going to be one up.
Right.
So no one's going to be one.
And I feel like, and in a lot of relationships, it's just like if you go into it, like I've been to a few weddings, and it's just like they say their vows, or it's just like you say you put God first, and it's the triangle: God, you, and me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you keep it that way, nothing is stronger than a triangle. It's just like it works, but a lot of times you get squares and octagons and everything because you want to involve so many people, opinions, or whatever, when it's just like it should just be here.
Yeah.
Not the rock symbol, but
right.
the triangle.
No, because the rock is 4 sides. It's 4 points at least. Right?
I don't know.
The diamond is 4 points.
Oh, got you. Right.
Yeah. So we're talking about 3.
That was your error.
Hey, I humbly accept. You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. Yeah, folks.
Right. So we're at 42.
She actually has a sense of humor.
What do you call? We're at 42, not 42. What's the next question?
So,
and unless anybody else out there has a question.
Daydon, what's happening, good brother? Hey, we got to get the families together, man.
Yes, the kids are getting so big.
Getting big. You got CRs, man. Let's make something happen, man.
Kirby said, "It's the rock in here." I heard it in the voice. It's the rock in here. Back when music was good.
She's trying to hate on the rock too. See?
I wasn't hating.
See who saved who?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next one is: how do you feel about your spouse/significant other? What's going on, man? We're well, fam. So definitely, I got you. I'll be in touch. We're gonna make this happen, man. And welcome. I know you tuned in before, so this is not your first time around, man. Welcome back to Sam's Talk.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about your spouse or significant other going out without you? Like, and you.
Okay. So I have questions.
Okay.
I have questions. Going out without you. Are we saying this is out at nights? Like, is this a weekend? Is this a vacation? What kind of what's the going out?
All of the above. Let's break it down.
Okay. So to be healthy and have a balance, which I'm trying to work on, is going out occasionally out without your spouse is healthy. Needs to happen, shouldn't be a question about it. I also feel like there are 4 trips in a person's year or whatever they should do. And one of them being with your guy friends or your girlfriends, right?
Okay. Whether
it be just a weekend getaway, not saying a month, but just whatever, just to have that time kind of thing. Now, if you're talking I feel like that's what I categorize as trips without your significant other or spouse. Is there something I'm missing with you?
Trips. I wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's healthy. It should happen.
Okay. Here's a curveball. Ready for the curve? Watch for the curve. That was a movie. With who was it? Dirty Harry. Who's that guy? The old head.
I know.
It's all the old music. He got an old soul.
Clint Eastwood.
Thank you, Clint Eastwood. She would know because if you're in our house and she plays her music, I feel like it's 1957-ish. All over again. It's just like, okay, what's happening?
I know the oldies in the
America. I don't know none of this, man. I didn't grow up like this at all. But yes, Clint.
Okay, excuse me. It's called, just having some of the history. You got to know all genres. Anyway,
You grew up.
what is your
Oh,
point?
the point is, Watch for the Curve is the name of his movie, and here's the curve. So what if the trip was with one of my female friends that you know that we don't have history with? I don't have history, but it's a female friend.
Just you and her?
Maybe it's a group, but it includes females. Maybe it's a. I'm sorry. Women. Women. My apologies. Women.
Okay, wait. Okay,
Ladies.
back up because I need more details. So
Maybe it's like
there.
it's an out.
Okay,
Right? And it's like a group of people that knew each other, like we're all part of this crew.
okay, and it's a night out or a vacation.
Okay. Talk.
Which one?
You,
Is it a night out or a vacation?
what if it wasn't overnight? An overnight with one of a group of friends that you know that I have. Like just you know I'm part of.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you.
It's
Again,
overnight. It's an overnight.
it's an overnight with a group of your friends that you know.
And it's like club only.
Club only.
Right. So no one's bringing a +1, meaning that like
One night,
it's an overnight.
overnight, one night.
Right.
Mm. Because this is hard. This is hard. This is so hard. Because now I'm like, why I'm not invited? I'm supposed to be a friend.
No one can bring anybody.
Nobody can bring. All right, so nobody can bring a +1.
It's like the OGs. It's the originals. Overnight though.
I'm gonna have to say no, Alex. I'm just gonna have to say, and God rest Alex Trebek because he was amazing. You know, rest your soul. But
Let's hear it.
I had to say no, Alex, because I just don't. Not saying you can't go out at night. Like I feel like I would have to have more information because it's just like, well, what are y'all doing? Like the first thought came to mind is like the Poconos. And then I'm like, well, you only go there one night. Like, what is the point, purpose? Like, how far? Like, if you're going that far, where you got to stay the night? I don't know.
What if it's you know, what if we want to, you know, I'm trying to think something.
So while you're thinking, hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
While you're thinking, Data says, I've attended overnight functions that included both my frat brothers and sorors, and it wasn't a problem. Okay.
And that's where
I'm sure. So with that, I did say, like, you know, there's more detail in that. I'm going on a hypothetical. Okay, I'm going on a hypothetical. So that is more detail or whatever. But go on, say what you were thinking, Sam.
Oh, it's funny because I'm just thinking like even if it was under those kind of contexts, it's funny because he said the last one, ironically enough, was in the Poconos. But like what like I was gonna say you live one life, and I can absolutely see, especially the group of friends that I have, someone say, you know what, I want to coordinate something official just to like commemorate like our relationship and our friendship for 25 plus years. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see that happening. So to me, that's a real possibility. And that's why I'm interested as your explanation as to why it'd be no, Alex. And in terms of your explanation, it seemed like you would just need to know more information. I'm not saying that not more information to provide, but I'm just saying
because like now I want to ask Daydon. Like now I want to ask Daydon, was it no spouses, no +1 either? So
he was saying that he went, went, you know, where like they're part of the frat and sorors, you know, so it's like you're part of the club. That was the distinction. It's like it's club members only, however the club is established, sort of thing.
Okay, all right.
And I'm not
so again,
you know, there are.
Now, what about you? Why I'm answering everything? So, what about you? Okay, Okay, so if I have a little stack of friends, men, women, or whatever, I'm going for the night.
Of course,
What's
of
happening?
course, of course, of
Okay,
course.
okay.
You know, it's like my whole thing would just be about your safety.
What
Why is that funny?
do you mean by safety?
Safety. That would be my only concern about you being away from me overnight is your safety. That's funny?
Because I thought you were joking. Like
No.
if I was like,
I'm just telling you, like, that's what would be.
if there are men and women there, if there are men there, my safety should be fine, right?
I'm telling you what my concern would be if you're away from me overnight.
She's also in a sorority, so she understands
Okay.
and is comfortable with the male-female dynamic. Well, Dana, you came in late because we already went over that, and we are comfortable with the male and female dynamic. Sam just throwing, like he said, a Clint Eastwood curveball in there, talking about overnight.
No, but Dadon, and then Dadon followed up with an overnight example. So it was very, very appropriate to what we're talking about. I'm saying to you, though, in that question, if you are away from me at night, that would be the concern. My concern wouldn't be conduct. I wouldn't be concerned about what you're doing. What I would be concerned about is making sure you are safe.
Gotcha.
That you are in a safe space because I am not physically there. Like I trust.
Now, do you have that concern if I'm out with just my girlfriends?
I'm always concerned about your safety.
Oh, all right. Well, I know that's nice. Okay.
Yeah. That's what
no, that's not.
Dude, I said the first time you started laughing like that was
because I thought you were joking.
Up or something. I'm thinking, like, well, wait a minute. I just said I want you to make sure you're safe. Yo.
Hi, Chief of Water.
I'm sorry, who's that?
G. Lamar Stewart.
Aha, good brother. How's it going, man? Welcome to Sam's Talk.
Yes.
This is a popcorn conversation, so we're kind of going all over the place. So anytime you see Sam's Talk popcorn, multiple topics.
Right.
And right now we're getting on. We've done a few. Right now we're on. How do you feel about your spouse or significant other? Going out without you, and we're making a distinction of what going out means. Right now we're still on vacationing or overnight stays. Right,
because we already talked about it's healthy and everybody needs to get away from each other at sometimes. So that is fine.
I think. But to each his own. You know what I'm saying? Like for some, that's not. That's not fun. Like we can't. I don't know. For me, I never think about like what's good. How's it go? What's good for the goose?
Right, it's good for the gander.
Right.
But here's the thing, Sam. You can do that. Like I'm going on my opinion, and I talk to a lot of women, okay, and you need the break. You like, so whether it is a few hours, just having lunch or a massage or just sitting at the lake, like even if it's a few hours, I know people where they haven't gone from like on a vacation trip break, and it's not because of the significant other or spouse, it's because they have kids and they aren't comfortable leaving them with anyone. So like there are people that want a break, but they haven't had one. So I think there are more people that want a break.
But let's focus though on what kind of break we're talking about. Because once you add kids in the mix, like who don't want to break from kids, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we really talking about here? So let's, that's easy. But I'm talking about a break from each other specifically, not just like, oh, we can't go on vacation because we have kids. It's like,
right.
I want to go on vacation without you.
Right. G. Lamar said, agree. Number 1, me time is very healthy and necessary. 2, safety is always a concern. 3, keep the lines of communication open.
There it is.
Yeah.
My man.
But that is true. But watch, because, and I watch, when I used to watch a lot of TV, because you can have lines of communication open, but then you have that person where it's like, okay, fine. You go out, great, enjoy yourself, and then they call you every 5 minutes. So what about those people?
Then that's who they are. Like, we're not, keep lines of communication open just means keep lines of communication open. However you are wired to use the lines of communication, it just should be open, especially if you're away from each other, like, to your point, if that's a problem, at least now you're experiencing it. It's like, hey, this is what it's like when I'm away from this person. They are calling me every 5 minutes. And maybe that's something for you to process and figure out, like, how that is with you as a person. I don't know. Like, I'm
Right.
saying, like, so someone who operates that way, they have to me, it's like it's their prerogative, and the person in a relationship with, can determine and choose what their response is to something like that.
Right. Hi, Amaris. It's crazy because it's like now people are getting on. And it's like our funny conversation was earlier. So we've worked it out. You got 4 minutes left, Sam.
Do we? Well, let's see. Oh, it hit you with the.
Right.
Okay. Well, I don't want to open up another one. I think.
Hips and lips and curls just joined. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm not even seeing any more people join on my side, man. So I don't know what happened there, but it's all good. It is all good. So maybe I think the Sixers game, for those,
Did they win?
thank you all. Yeah, we won. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight in light of the fact that the Sixers were playing. In terms of scheduling on my part, we scheduled it before Game 6 was going to happen. Like, it was before Game 5 took place, and silly me for thinking that we were going to get the job done then. But this was pretty cool. So tonight,
They were
Popcorn,
great. Yes.
we talked about friends of the opposite sex.
Right.
And for us, I mean, personally for us, we have no qualms with it, I mean,
right.
Friends are friends, people are people. We appreciate people. And I think those who know us know how we feel about people. Transparency about your past exes, friends with benefits, and or encounters. Like, is that part of your relationship dynamic? Are you transparent about it, or are you not? And I was sharing, for me, it wasn't until I met Samantha where it was like a requirement for me to be transparent. But I also put it in the context of, because of our friendship, I understood why it was necessary for her, and that she's eloquently stated, not to be the last one in the room, or like not to know the least in the room. And her thing was, if we are what we are, then I shouldn't be the one that somebody is one up on me with information. And that I was just like, no doubt, because we are what we are, So she explained it to me, and it made sense. And I also had to acknowledge the fact that she has always been measured in her response to that information. She never learned about something and took it in a way where I felt like, man, you asked me for this, but now I don't know if I can tell you, So, and then the last one is, how do you feel about your spouse or significant other going out without you?
Right. But people are saying it was a great topics, good combo.
Catch it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this on our YouTube page, Sam's 2 Community, so you can catch us on our YouTube. Like and subscribe right now, Sam's 2 Community. And then, of course, if you guys can like this, we're going to keep coming to you live, Sam's Talk.
Yes. Check us out. Tell your friends about us. Okay. Stay blessed.
Until next time, folks.
Stay blessed.
Peace.